Don't you be too close to me. Them goons you see, let it go for me. I bring them things, I bring them things. I call them, he bring them things. Mucho, I bring them things. Looking so expensive, rings and things. I bring them things. I bring them things. I bring them things. Man.
Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Today's matchup features two teams looking for a win. It's the Jets coming in at 6-4, going up against the Vikings, who come in at 3-6. With that, let's hand it over to Brandon Gotton and Charles Davis. They've got the call of this Week 12 matchup.
All right, Larry, thanks. We are across the Hudson from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Minnesota Vikings and the New York Jets. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. And, Charles, you look at this Jets ball club. And they've lost 3 straight here, and it goes without saying, I guess, they could certainly use a win.
And how do they get a win? Because they've lost 3 straight, I think it's paramount that they get a fast, clean start to this game.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they come in off the very rare tie a game ago.
And it'll be interesting to see what their mindset is going into this game. Sometimes that can be a deflator, and sometimes that can just really make you mad and more determined the next time out.
The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. They'll be led out by the former Heisman Trophy winner and #1 overall pick from Oklahoma. It's Sam Bradford.
And Sam Bradford, he has touch and accuracy, and he has it in bushels. This guy is amazing. If you watch him throw 7-on-7 or watch him throw routes versus air, the ball hardly ever hits the ground. He's absolutely a receiver's dream when going out for a pass.
Throwing, Bradford, and he's got the hook up here. It's Kyle Rudolph. A gain of 6 there on first. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series, they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
The first carry now for Dalvin Cook, and he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32. Let's take a look here at the offense for Minnesota.
For a lot of people, there are pros and cons to playing close to home in the NFL. But for Adam Thielen, it's nothing but pros. Grew up not too far from the Twin Cities, loves being a Viking, and is a really dependable third down receiver.
Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive. Didn't get it by much, but bottom line got the first down. Avoiding that 3 and out, how vital is that on the first drive?
To me, it's like the first round of a boxing match. You know, it may not mean much right then and there, but you'd rather not lose it, right? So you want to go ahead and get it, kind of establish something early, and hope it can carry through. That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. They'll try to throw now. Bradford. This one complete to Devin Funchess. A solid gain of 15 yards, and the sticks move.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they could do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
Bradford hands to Cook on the draw. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there. And quickly the starting 11 now for the New York defense.
It's almost as if Darren Lee said, welcome to the new NFL. When he was drafted in 2016, he was a high school cornerback, moved to outside linebacker in college, and now plays inside linebacker in the NFL. Speed, speed, speed is his stock in trade.
And here comes play number 6 on this drive. Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon.
Offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. Cook following the penalty. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. Only a yard on the gain there, and that'll set up 3rd and 13.
Well, now they're in a spot that every team tells us when we have our production meetings they don't want to be in, 3rd and long. And that's because those back-to-back running plays just didn't accomplish a whole lot.
The 7th play now of this opening drive. This is 3rd and long, though. From the gun, Bradford. And this one complete right side to Funchess. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down. How about this for an opening drive decision? You got 4th and short, just outside of field goal range in all likelihood. What do you do? I'm going for it. I've got to go get it right now. I want to establish a tone. It's early in the game. I want to let my offense know that I believe in them. And you know something else? I let my defense know I believe in them also by taking that gamble. If we don't get it, it's okay. You guys will cover for me. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. They'll be led by a former national champion at Alabama. It's A.J. McCarron. I loved his quote during the week. If I were a defensive back, I would have wanted to play against me last week as well. He's trying to eliminate those turnovers, those interceptions, and get back on the positive side of the ledger throwing touchdown passes. Yeah, had 4 of those picks, led to the loss. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked up by Anderson Aho. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half. And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated.
all they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
On second down, Cook. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. After the play, not a good sign. Dalvin Cook staying on the ground. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Third down, Bradford. There on the catch, Alfred Blue. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. They give him 27 yards on the third down conversion.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And now a first down following that long gain. This is Alfred Blue. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
And before they can run another play, the clock hits triple zeros. And time is up on the first quarter. Can't wait to see what the second quarter has in store. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. They've got a second down at 5 here to start things out. They go again with Blue. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves him with a 3rd and 3.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, that was excellent coverage right there, and he definitely did the right thing, showing that discretion is definitely the better part of valor. Threw it away, preserved the opportunity to kick for a field goal.
And excellent coverage. And right now the human is controlling the defense, so good job, human. And the 11-year veteran bangs it through, and the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. And we were scoreless up until this point in the second quarter. Now we finally have a little action.
Let's see where this action takes us. First quarter, no points at all. Now we've got our first score of the game. Well, does that signal that we're going to get more as we go along, or will it revert back to what we saw in the beginning of the game?
New York set to take the field. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. Over the middle, it's complete. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time. Really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
Well, we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
No gain on the screen there. It's 2nd down. So nothing there on the screen that time.
That means all that great acting they tried on offense went for naught, didn't it? Because you have to try and influence them. Make them think that you're doing something else. Make them think that they can get to the passer by letting them by and then setting up the screen and getting downfield. Didn't happen at all. Give a lot of credit to the defense for not tumbling to that one.
And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for 3rd down.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Well, they only had a yard to go. They tried to pass the football. Defense blitz. Defense got there.
Yeah, I think on this one, this is probably good scouting, understanding a few tendencies, and figuring out that, hey, they may take a shot. They dialed up the pressure and got to him.
And this ball is going to be down now right at the 10-yard line. Good spot. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay. Yeah. I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
Well, you know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset. Yep. Draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
And a long way to go for the offense here on 2nd down. From the shotgun, it's Bradford. Over the middle here to Rudolph. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back there as it'll leave them with a 3rd and 5.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do. And it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
At 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. They'll give him 8 on the play, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Funches with a catch over the middle. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here. As they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
Working out of the gun, Bradford. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Now Bradford on second down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. Bradford now from the 50. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. Cook getting the handoff for Bradford. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
All right, partner, let's go back over the last couple of plays. Sack, loss of yards on a running play. Not exactly the sequence that an offensive coordinator gets comfortable with when calling plays.
So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the... And hello, I guess Larry's halftime show was buttoned through. And we are moving on and ready to go for the third quarter. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Here's the Jet offense now. They head out to take over. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off near the 32. And he'll take this back down inside the 20. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the second week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out.
Well, Brandon, so much for halftime adjustments. They still can't get anything going on the ground. It may be time to loosen things up and start flinging it around a little bit.
They run it again with Cook. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
And as we've seen throughout this season, it's no picnic trying to score touchdowns against this unit. They're ranked #1 against the run. But it's also difficult because it's not easy to throw the ball against them either.
To throw on 3rd down. Bradford out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he showcased the spin but couldn't do much else as he's wrangled down. Give him 3 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
This one fielded at the 5. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. So out now come the Jets. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. That is now 7 interceptions between last week and this week. 3 in this game, 4 a week ago.
And I saw the head coach write on his play sheet, make a little note. I hope he's writing self-scout. Bring in the guys that scout games for you with a different eye and watch him and see what's going on, and maybe they can pick up what the flaws are, and hopefully they can correct them.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given a little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
Second down, Bradford. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 14 yards that time for number 14. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. They'll run it now out of the gun. And just a couple yards there down to the 17.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Second down following the run. Again, it's Cook. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. The Vikings on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. To throw, Bradford. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. 8 yards on the screen there, not enough. And it'll be 4th down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here, remember.
Love the effort there. I mean, to get a field goal block in this situation because they knew what was going on. They gave up those 3 points there. It's now a 2-possession game.
Yeah, that really changes the complexion here in the second half, doesn't it?
It really does, and now you give your team more than a fighting chance and a little momentum. Terrific job by them setting the tone and picking up their defense.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, second down.
My man's getting a little loose with the football there, right? Interception before, almost had one here. He's got to start taking better care of it.
Yeah, really should have been back-to-back drives with interceptions. He's lucky there. To throw is McCarron. And that is incomplete. Chad Hansen, the intended receiver. And it'll bring up 3rd down. Well, pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
And incomplete here on 3rd down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man-on-man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. They go play action here on 1st down. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Haloti Ngata forcing his way through there to drop him for a loss of a good 10 yards.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. Now a second down throw for Bradford. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down. The Vikings on third down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This will be third and forever. A play fake. Bradford. Going deep for Diggs. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Marcus May with a pick. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. A critical error there in a tight game in the fourth.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
After the INT, it's McCarron. Throw left side complete. It's Ferguson. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Let's go! Now a handoff here to his running back. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. They got 2 of the 3 they needed there. It leaves them with third and just a yard. Now a handoff looking right. And an alley to run. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. Give him 15 yards on that one, and the Jets move the chains.
We all love to have a home run hitter in the backfield. Guy can take it the distance. But in short yardage, trying to pick up first downs, that big guy, always a nice luxury to have, isn't he?
On first down, McCarron. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. A good pickup there on first as the screen pass gets them 8. Just 2 yards to go here on second down for the offense. Now they'll run on the draw. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
Second and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
On first and 10, here's A.J. McCarron. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Going to give this time to the tailback. And heavy contact. He is knocked down hard. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves him needing a conversion here on third and a tough 9. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Now here's McCarron on third. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. So down 6, and they know they need this one on fourth down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and they're able to pick up the conversion here on fourth down.
They had to convert there on fourth down, and they ran the football. Major surprise, but they pick it up. Now they got to really hurry.
And he can't hang on to it. That would have sealed it. Instead, second down. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is it just off just by a bit? maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with 3rd and still 7 yards to go. He'll look to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes. The 30, the 20. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, we know this defense has athleticism. Spots like that prove us right.
I love the way that you spotlighted the athleticism because you and I both know the best athletes on the field, they play on defense.
I don't know. I was a kicker. You got to remember that now.
Come on.
Fine. And he is going to be stopped short of the goal line. Oh, they'll mark him inside the 1. He just couldn't keep churning those extra few inches. And the 2-point attempt is turned aside. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. And New York set to take the field. And last time, decent field position through the pick 6. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked up by Anderson Aho. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now. That's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make...
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. This is the running back, Blue, and able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. They get 5 yards on the run there, still left staring at a 3rd and about 14.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
They'll try and run again with Blue. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. Call it a gain of 5, 4th down now. The storyline in this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent. And how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column, too.
So for Minnesota, they pick up win number 4 on the campaign as they emerge victorious here. And they'll return home next week to take on the Miami Dolphins. Meanwhile, for the Jets, it's a loss that sets them back in their playoff push as they fall to 6-5. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel up to Detroit to take on the Lions. So that's a wrap. For Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. With that, we say so long, everybody.